Thank you, Mickey. Happening now, law enforcement investigating a felony grand larceny case involving cars stolen from Arab, Alabama.
So this happened at a car dealership there where $1 million in cars were stolen along with 300 keys. Greg Anthony is the general manager of the North Country Ford in Arab. He joins us now with more on this. Hey, Greg, good morning.
Good morning, Janice. How are you this morning?
We're doing well. Reading some of the details about this looks like something right out of a movie.
Yeah, listen, it reminds me of the Gone in 60 Seconds movie. It's just certain vehicles were targeted. They got a $150,000 Dodge Demon. It's a Challenger. And then they got a $130,000 TRX Ram truck and Bronco Raptor. So they just targeted some of the high dollar, high end cars. And that's, they didn't leave us any favors on the high dollar stuff. That's what they got out of the showroom and right off the lot.
Well, we've seen this happen in other cities and other states, but for this to happen in your small town, obviously this is rather brazen. But they definitely knew what they were doing, didn't they?
That's exactly right, Jimmy. Let me tell you, it was a surprise Sunday morning when I got the call. The cleaning crew had gotten there and said that one of the windows were busted and there was a lot of glass everywhere. So immediately she called 911. And come to find out, it wasn't just our dealership. There were several dealerships in our area. There was like 4 dealerships that got hit and targeted high-end vehicles, and that's why we're calling it like Gone in 60 Seconds in real life, because they took some like Corvettes and high-dollar Camaros and Durango Hellcats. It's just stuff that was very, very expensive. So not just my store, but also down in Pell City area and Fort Payne area and Anniston, Alabama, Dothan. So it's something that was statewide.
So no doubt making this more difficult, Greg, as I understand, you can correct me if I'm wrong, did they manage to shut off surveillance video and then wipe any video that was on there?
That's exactly right, Janice. What happened was when our IT people dialed into our camera systems to start reviewing at 12:28 a.m., the camera system goes black. And what that is they dialed in through the Wi-Fi of the camera through a laptop and shut the system down.
Oh my gosh.
And also we have a security box that our keys stay in that's electronically controlled by fingerprints or a code that you put in to retrieve the keys. And they also used the laptop and got into the key box and popped the keys open. And most of your cars now is push button start. So they gather all the keys up and they put them in a box and they just pass them. Like they'll put them in one car, start it up, pass the bag to the next person, they start it up. And there was over 330 keys. And those keys, to replace those on new cars, because we can't sell a car that someone else has a key to. So we've got to recut and reprogram, and it takes 2 keys for each car to do that. And that's valued over $300,000 just in keys alone.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Greg, did you have any advance warning that something like this could happen? Or is there anything a dealership can do to protect themselves?
Well, we take out all measures that we can, such as cameras and securing keys and take all the measures we can to prevent that from happening. But a thief's a thief, and they're going to get in. It doesn't matter. There's an old saying, a lock just keeps a thief honest. And the Fort Payne store got hit a couple of days before we did. And so, we knew they were in the area, but there's a lot of dealerships in our area. And for us to get targeted, we just had a lot of the luxury line vehicles, I think, is one reason they targeted us. And we know they went to the Birmingham area because we did retrieve 2 vehicles. And one of them was in Bessemer, Alabama, and one of them, they ran off the road and wrecked that vehicle, and it was on the way to Birmingham, and we got that one recovered. So the FBI is holding both of those right now doing their investigations, but we know that they're in the Birmingham area.
So what time did this happen again, Greg?
The cameras go black at 12:28 a.m. and I got notified at 8:04 a.m. Sunday morning.
So they threw a brick or a rock through to initially enter?
That's correct. They all enter, and the odd part about it, the reason we know it's going to be the same group, is they've done it the exact same way. They made entry at every dealership the exact same way. They go into the service drive, they took a big rock, shattered the glass out in our service write-up area, and they make entryway there and then on into the dealership.
Okay, we're looking at where they came in there and threw the rock through the glass there. So basically, like Mike was asking, is there anything you can do? You feel like you did everything you could do, but thieves apparently are coming up with new ideas all the time to be able to break in.
Well, and that's true, Janice. Listen, technology sometimes it's good, but technology is always good. Sometimes it's bad.
Right.
They find ways to do it. You can lock car doors, and just like homes, you can lock your home, you can set your alarms, you can put everything in place. If there's something someone wants to get in to do, that's what they're going to do. They're going to learn ways to bypass that. Ring cameras, they're going to find ways to dial into that, shut them down, and no matter what measures you put in place, they find ways to overcome.
That's
that.
the terrifying part, isn't it? It could have. Those were cars. Yeah, they could do this other ways.
Yeah, and the fear is
That's
they could
right.
be used in other crimes, obviously, so the FBI is obviously involved in that. You're talking over a huge amount. There's no grand theft auto statute in Alabama. It's just grand theft larceny, but we're almost out of time, but I got to ask, because I know a viewer's going to ask, what about insurance? I mean, do dealerships have insurance to cover this type thing?
We do. We have insurance, but of course it doesn't cover 100%. It's just like your home and your cars. You have deductibles, and I don't know that they're going to cover the keys. That's a $330 damage right there. And then we have to pay 10% deductible on each car. So, the dealership's out over $500,000
Ooh.
strictly just on our cost.
Wow.
All right. Well, Greg, I know this was a shock. Greg Anthony there, the general manager of North Country Ford in Arab. We'll certainly follow up with you. Thank you for being with us.
Hey, thank you, Janice, for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Sheldon?